Multiple Intelligences unit plan is on ancient Egypt for the 6th grade and lasts about 3 weeks. One of the topics we will focus on is religion, specifically how various gods are portrayed with certain animal characteristics and what aspects of the world they had domain over. Also, we will look at how religion helped the pharaoh to rule the people and how the people saw the pharaoh as a god king. We will be looking at how religious beliefs necessitated preserving the body through mummification, as well as what the role of pyramids were as tombs for pharaohs and how they were targeted by tomb raiders. Additionally, this unit plan takes a look at the role of trade between Egypt and Nubia, specifically regarding the luxury items Egypt traded for and what these items say about their cultural values. We will also look at the yearly flooding of the Nile and how ancient Egyptians depended upon it to give the soil nutrients for growing crops. Students will also be comparing and contrasting Ramses II with the first female ruler of Egypt, Queen Hatshepsut. Lastly, students will create a timeline of the major events that occurred during the Egyptian Empire. And now, these are the California State Standards addressed. I cannot read this fast. Oh, there they went. Within each and every lesson, Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences is applied. The intelligences are interpersonal, who are most stimulated by interactions with others, intrapersonal, who expect learning to be meaningful on a personal level, bodily kinesthetic, who thrive on hands-on learning, musical rhythmic, who enjoy finding patterns, verbal linguistic, who easily express themselves orally and in writing, logical mathematical, who enjoy logic and reasoning, naturalists, who thrive on creating categories and hierarchies, and visual spatial, who can picture ideas and solutions to problems in their minds. Within each lesson of the unit, Bloom's taxonomy levels of cognition are embedded. This begins with the lowest level of meaning, knowledge, where students only recall or list information, and ends with the deepest levels of meaningful cognition, synthesis, and evaluation, where students create new ideas from what they've learned, and they evaluate outcomes and solve problems. Each lesson also contains some technology, including a classroom blog, classroom wiki, email, Google Docs, websites such as a YouTube clip of the mummification process, readwritethink.org, HurstArts.com, and Creately.com. The software they will use is PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, GarageBand, and Inspiration. They will also use a scanner as well as a printer. The multiple intelligences, Bloom's taxonomy levels, and technology all combine to allow for greater student engagement and buy-in, multi-sensory aspects of learning that target different regions of the brain, and leveled tiers of cognition. On the first day, students will listen to and read from their text as well as from the giant book of the mummy, then describe what they learned and post this to the classroom blog. The intelligences used are musical rhythmic and verbal linguistic. The Bloom's level is understand. On the second day, students will investigate the specific gods related to the mummification process and tell about their findings in an email to the teacher. The intelligences used are verbal linguistic and logical mathematic. The Bloom's level is evaluate. On the third and fourth days, students will work with a partner and watch the YouTube video clip on the mummification process, and then create a PowerPoint presentation. The presentation will be delivered on day 4. The multiple intelligences used are interpersonal, visual spatial, and verbal linguistic. The Bloom's level is create. On the 5th day, students will color and label an Egyptian gods worksheet. They will scan this and upload it to Google Docs, where their partner will check labels for accuracy and make needed corrections. The multiple intelligences used are visual spatial, interpersonal, and naturalist. The Bloom's level is remember. On the 6th day, students will work in a small group to do research on the internet and investigate aspects of each god. They will then role-play for the class the various roles and attributes, characteristics, and responsibilities of each god. The multiple intelligences used are logical mathematical, bodily kinesthetic, and interpersonal. The Bloom's level is apply. On days 7 through 8, students will work independently and write a 2-page report about ancient Egyptian religion and the mummification process, including how poor people versus how rich people were mummified. This report will be uploaded to the Classroom Wiki by day 8. The multiple intelligences used are interpersonal, logical mathematical, musical rhythmic, and verbal linguistic. The Bloom's level is apply. On day 9, students will evaluate the design and purpose of pyramids. They will then design a comic on readwritethink.org of officials debating the pros and cons of burying pharaohs in underground tombs instead of in pyramids. The multiple intelligences used are intrapersonal, visual spatial, and verbal linguistic. The Bloom's level is evaluate. On day 10, students will build a model of a pyramid. The multiple intelligence used is bodily kinesthetic, and the Bloom's level is create. On day 11, the students will evaluate the luxury goods Egypt traded for and interpret what these items say about Egyptian cultural values in a 1-page essay. The multiple intelligences used are interpersonal, musical rhythmic, and verbal linguistic. The Bloom's level is evaluate. On day 12, students collect and analyze data concerning the benefits of yearly flooding. They will write a 1-page essay after using the compare and contrast map at readwritethink.org. The multiple intelligences used are logical mathematical, naturalist, and the Bloom's level is evaluate. On day 13, students will use their research to note patterns of similarity between Ramses II and Queen Hatshepsut. They will make a Venn diagram at creately.com. The multiple intelligences used are verbal linguistic, naturalist, and musical rhythmic. The Bloom's level is analyze. On day 14, students will demonstrate their understanding of the 2 pharaohs by composing a song, rap, or chant about them in GarageBand and upload it to the class wiki. The multiple intelligence used is musical rhythmic. The Bloom's level is apply. On days 15 through 16, the students will research and analyze the events of the Egyptian Empire. They will then translate their findings into a timeline in inspiration. The multiple intelligences used are logical mathematical and naturalist. The Bloom's level is understand. I've learned that integrating Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, along with Bloom's taxonomy, and using technology, lessons can come alive and be more meaningful and lasting in the minds of students.